Imagine a doctor counseling people who are going through a difficult time, giving them hope for life. And it works. People find new meaning in their lives and feel better. Now, in a strange turn of events, this doctor has to suffer unimaginable tortures with his entire family getting killed in the process. What do you think will happen? The year is 1941. Viktor Frankl, one of the most promising young doctors of Austria, has started getting fame on world stage. His counseling work with students in Vienna results in the lowest ever suicide rate. He gets invitations from universities across the world to come and lecture to their students. America issues him a visa along with an invite to teach there and continue his research on developing his new theory of logotherapy. His parents are proud. His wife is jubilant. She is expecting their first child. Life cannot be any better, and the future is full of possibilities. But it is 1942. It's one of the most dangerous times to be alive if you live in Europe, live in a country that shares its border with Germany, and if you are a Jew. And all of this was true for Viktor Frankl. Nazis were on a mission to expand their evil empire while mass murdering the Jews. Viktor Frankl had the option to move to America, but he did not want to leave his old parents back with an unpredictable future. Result, as Nazis expanded into Europe, they started capturing all Jews. They were blamed for Germany's defeat in World War I. Viktor and his entire family was captured and sent to a concentration camp along with millions of others. If you are sick, old and handicapped, going to the concentration camp meant only one thing: instant death in gas chambers. But if you are young and in a position to be used as labor, it meant even worse. Working in freezing temperatures with bare minimum clothes on your back, constantly being beaten by the prison guards and barely surviving on the loaf of bread. Living conditions were so bad that thousands of people were living in a space meant only for a few hundred. The extent of cruelty and horror of these circumstances was such that most of these prisoners routinely attempted to kill and relieve themselves of this inhuman treatment. Everybody was just a number. No name, no hope, and no future. Lack of sleep, insufficient food, and enormous stress can make people do crazy things. But it was in these conditions Viktor saw men who walked through the huts comforting others, giving away their last piece of bread to people who seemed to need it more. In his own experience, he realized despite all these conditions outside, there was something his captors would not be able to control, and that was how he chose to think about this situation. To think that your life is finished and there's nothing to look forward to, or to think there is meaning in every experience and you will one day be free and come out stronger. Both these thoughts take the same energy, but both these thoughts dramatically alter your experience in the now. And here is the psychological truth which makes it possible. People feel now what they anticipate they will feel in future. No matter how good or bad the current circumstances are, people feel now what they anticipate they will feel in future. While there was fear and hardships of the outside camp life, Viktor Frankl did not let it create his inner experience. Instead, he used to imagine in vivid detail how he would be teaching, standing on the platform of a well-lit, warm and pleasant lecture room. In front of him sat an attentive audience on comfortable upholstered seats. He was giving a lecture on the psychology of the concentration camp. He imagined talking to his wife and telling her how much he means to him, how he is grateful to have shared a life with him. This gave a meaning to his suffering, filled him with hope and courage despite his miserable circumstances. Nobody could have predicted if Viktor would survive his life in concentration camp. But there was no doubt in his mind that he was the creator of his experience, and that's what mattered most while he was still there. Despite all these conditions outside, there was something his captors would not be able to control, and that was how he chose to think about this situation, how he chose to feel about his future. Now, this was a trial by fire for Viktor Frankl. This experience became a living laboratory to test his theory of logotherapy, a theory where he said a sense of meaning is the way to live even in the most difficult situations imaginable. This allowed him to rise above his current situation, above the sufferings of the moment, and he observed these situations as if they were already things of the past. Although his family perished, but Viktor Frankl not only survived but went on to hugely influence the people all over the world with his new branch of psychology, logotherapy. As you can see, any attempt to restore a man's inner strength in the worst of the worst situation had first to succeed in showing him some future goal. If it can work in the hell of a concentration camp, it surely can work in the problems you can ever face.